Going back to the LTAD model we talked about earlier, when you look at your freshman athletes all the way through your senior athletes, and what you've done maybe for the last 15, 20 years, have you seen a decrease in three-sport athletes?
Oh, tremendously. And there's, besides the LTAD model, one of the things that comes out, and it came out of Europe first, it's called physical literacy. And physical literacy simply means, can you do more than one thing? Physical literacy changes over time. Now, I'm going to kind of pick on you with your age. When you were younger, you always wanted to throw a lot of weight around. But as you get older, and the kids are always like, Coach, how much do you bench? I always tell them, my goal, I take off my shirt, I want to make sure that I don't get rolled back into the water. I'm here to lift for fun. I'm not here to try to impress anything. So when we talk about physical literacy, could you go from playing a pickup game of basketball into maybe just go throwing the lacrosse ball around? Or maybe you're going to go hit some balls at the batting cage. Or maybe go out and do some golfing. So physical literacy, when we really stress that, is you have to be able to do many different things. I learned to rollerblade about 5-6 years ago. And that's, having the balance, the confidence of, okay, I can stand on one leg and not kill myself. Yeah, I wear all the pads and everything, but...
right. Helmet for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely that.
Well, that's just it. I think a lot of times, we get locked into our zone of what we do day in and day out, and to reteach different neuromotor pathways and patterns is critical for raising that ceiling of athletic development, where I think a lot of our athletes now, we've talked about, is they shunt their athletic ability because their athletic ceiling is so short now. It's not as high. So keeping those three-sport athletes, I remember I was a marginal athlete in high school. However, I was still a three-sport athlete across the board, and I think it helped give me a broader, better foundation to excel in one versus the other.
Well, and being the three-sport athlete, if you're a one-sport athlete, you're doing the same thing over and over. You're doing that all the time. You're going to start getting repetitive injuries. And that's one of the problems that they're starting to see, is why are these kids having Tommy John injuries, surgeries? Why are these kids tearing their shoulders up, rotator cuffs are blowing out? Why are they having some of these? And then you look at what they do. Well, it's not hard to figure out. You're doing the same thing over and over. Too much of the repetitive.
Exactly. And going on that repetitive aspect, how do you, as the high school coach, how do you help manage volume, overtraining, overcompeting with club sports?
That's one of those that, as a school, we agreed, and I've been lucky because as a Ponderosa High School before this, all the coaches agreed you want to share your athletes. The talent pool isn't that deep, so you need to make sure that you're sharing all your athletes. And that's a big one that coaches encourage it. Look, it's springtime. Try baseball. If you're not good at baseball, there's track, there's lacrosse, there's something else that you can do. So the coaches get together and they try to keep the kids at school, and they try to keep them doing as many different sports. Yes, you're going to have those kids playing club sports, and we actually have some kids that they will play club sports and they'll still play a different high school sport besides the club sport.